Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So today we're actually going to be covering some of the shelters that you will be learning in the basic course for our survival training course. And with the basic shelters, you will be taught that at the course, but you will also have to be able to demonstrate it yourself on the second part of the course to actually get your patch. So what we have here, we have a Walmart tarp. This is a 6x8 tarp. You get them on Walmart Sporting Goods. They're like 10 bucks. I've used these for many years. Now what we also have is the Arcturus sleeping emergency blanket. Now you can use these for shelters and stuff like that, and actually both of these are going to be a required item. Mainly this one's going to be used for a ground cover. All right, keep your moisture between you and the ground separated. So that's what we're going to be using these for. The reason I don't recommend, and I cannot recommend, using this as a shelter is because I ripped mine today. Right here, I was actually throwing up a shelter and pulled, and it ripped right out. And that was supposed to be a reinforced grommeted in. This thing's brand new. Now for the survival blanket part, these things are actually really nice. Yes, and it's waterproof, windproof. I have no problem using that. But when I went to go make a shelter today, ripped it. If this was the only thing I had and it was needing this for a shelter, yeah, that would suck. All right, but we use it as a ground cover. Alright guys, so our Plow Point, let's extend our tarp out, and we want to grab the corner from the 6x part of the tarp, the shorter end. Now what I have here, I've just took a loop right here. I'm going to put this in place. We're going to feed it through the corner of our eyelet, our grommet. Use a toggle, put there. Now, we got that top part up. Now I'm going to move down. I'm going to grab the exact opposite angle, and this is where we're going to stake down. Okay, so we have our stake, we got another loop, and we got another toggle. We're going to slide our rope through. We're going to go ahead and throw our toggle in. Slide that right there. I'm going to pull it down tight. We're going to take our stake, get it to where we want it at. All right, let's get our tarp in place. Alright, so now we're going to grab this in here, do the exact same. We're going to slide our loop through, get our toggle on here, get our stake, find out where we're going to put this, want it nice and tight. Alright, perfect. Now we go to the other side. All right, grab our other corner. Put our loop through. Put our toggle on. Get our stake. All right, perfect. So now our Plow Point is built. We would use our survival blanket as a barrier from the moisture on the ground, and as you can see, pretty simple. There's actually plenty of room. Now the thing about Plow Points, guys, if you got a rectangular shaped tarp like this, is a 6x8, it's not squared, your ends are going to be slightly off, which is actually a nice thing. It really is, because what you can do, you're open in here, you can put your campfire right there. That heat will come in. All right, so these 6x8s, I do like 6x8, even though they're not perfectly square. You do have access points where you can put your fire over there. You know, that way you still have heat coming in. So actually, plenty of room in these things. Now, this is 6x8. I'm covered. All right, that's the main thing. I can stretch out this way if I want to, throw my gear over there. This is one of the shelters that you will be having to perform on the course. This is called the Plow Point again. So let's go on to the next one. All right, so the next thing is the ridge line, the lean-to. Now, I've shown you ridge lines before. There should be a pop-up there for you where I'm actually going over how to make these. So what we're going to do, we're going to go and get our paracord out. And we're going to attach it between this tree here and that tree there using toggles. So I got a bowman or a bow line tied to this end. Like I said, we've already went over ridge lines. There is a video for that. And we're going to go ahead and attach this. On this end here, we're putting a trucker's hitch. That way we can tighten up our ridge line. And if it's done correctly, you can release it and you'll stay locked in place. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put a quick release on this end. That way when we go to release it, we just have to unsnap it. Everything will fall into place. Now, with all your extra paracord, please remember this. Go ahead and police your paracord. Go ahead and loop it up on the end. That way it's not dangling everywhere. Just makes everything look a lot more uniform. Less stuff to be tripping over at night as well, having loose paracord dangling everywhere. So just tie it off. As soon as I get done all the looping. Usually my ridge lines are 35 feet. That way I know I've got enough line to go from tree to tree. So 35 feet is usually what I make these ridge lines. All right, so we'll tie that off. We've got a Perskin knots here, and this is what we're going to be attaching our tarp to. So again, we got the 6x8 tarp. We're going to put our 8-foot length up here. Take our Perskin knot, slide it over here, go through our garment there. Put a toggle on that. Same on this end. And then we'll just tighten it down with our Perskin knot. And that way we're nice and tight up here. Now we just got to stake off the back side. Alright, so it's staking off the back side here. We got a toggle, a stake, and a loop. We're just going to pull this out. We're going to run our loop through our corner. Put our toggle on. Grab our stake. Get it in position where we're going to want it at. Stake that down. Go to the other side. Same thing here. We're going to take our loop, run a toggle through. I'm going to run our stake. Now, you can always be making adjustments from your stakes. Right now we're going to set this up. You see how it's got slack? So I'm going to put this stake here. I'm going to adjust that stake down there. That way we have a nice tight shelter. So when we come down here, make our adjustment. Much better. And if we wanted to, we could actually take another stake and the hook right here. But I think we're going to be good on this one. Alright, So this is a lean-to. Like I said, we used a ridge line, staked it down the back, used toggles and everything on it, and you got plenty of room. Again, you'll put down your ground barrier down here just so that you're not getting that moisture coming through. Like here in Florida, guys, we got a lot of moisture in the ground, and you will feel it at night, especially during the cold nights. So that's why we always keep something for the ground, just a ground cover. And yeah, you're good. Now, the best thing about these lean-tos is that if the rain decided to come in from this way, just unhook your stakes, flip it over, stake it down. You're good to go. All right, guys, so the last one here is an A-frame. Now, this is going to be low to the ground. This is actually designed to keep your heat in. Now, you can make them higher up off the ground, kick them out and stuff like that. They'll be flying in the air. But we're going to do this low to the ground here. I'm going to go and show you this one right fast. So we're going to go ahead, hook up our ridge line onto this tree here, secure it with a toggle, which I just happen to have one in my pocket. Imagine that. We're going to run our ridge line over here. And on this side, we're going to secure it with our trucker's hitch. Down here on this end, that's where we can pull it tight. Alright, so with most 6x8 tarps, the grommets are not evenly spaced out, and usually you don't have one in the center, but that's quite alright. So we're going to lay this over, just like this right here. And some tarps has a grommet in between these two, but what we're going to do is we're just going to try to match it up best we can. So this particular tarp does not have that. Now we're going to stake down our ends and pull it tight. Alright, so basic staking before. We have a loop, we got a stake, we got a toggle. Toss that one over there on that end. Throw that one on that side. Now, be mindful when you do this because you don't want to be pulling too much to one side. So we're going to loosely stake these down so we can make alterations. Just so we can see what's going on. And then we can adjust. Alright, so on the other side here, as you can see, starting to tighten itself up. Like I said though, we just loosely put the stakes in for now, just so we can see what we need to adjust on this one. And having this close to the ground like this makes it much easier to trap heat in survival situations compared to have it higher up in the air with open air sides. I mean, that's a good tarp to stay out of the rain, but if you're trying to actually keep body warmth in and stuff like that, you want your tarps, your shelter close to the ground, like this right here. So as you can see, it's not roomy, but it keeps everything centralized so your body heat has a better chance of staying in here. I do like these smaller A-frames low to the ground just for this reason. Of course, we got a ground cover down, keeps our body temperature from dropping, and also keeps that moisture from the ground to come up at us while we're sleeping. So they're tight, but you can still get gear in here. So this is going to be another one of the courses, one of our shelters that we got to build during our course.